So Act 1 of Destiny 2's very first episodic sort of content episode called Echoes just wrapped up. And I wanted to talk about the whole episodic thing, replacing the whole seasonal thing, because we got a little bit more information, a little bit of more of a feel for it, I think, as of this point. This obviously is subject to change, after we get the next two episodes, or not episodes, but next two acts. But as of the time of recording, I think we have enough information to kind of make a little bit of a judgment and just an opinion, if you will. So we're going to be talking about that here in this video. If you guys do enjoy this one, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more. If you don't like it, it's completely fine as well. Let me know what you dislike so I can improve the content in the future. And let's go ahead and jump straight into this. First things first, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below about this whole topic, because I would love to hear what you guys have to say and where you guys stand on all of this. Now, if we actually go into the Quest tab, you can see that it says episode Echoes Act 1 complete. Ikora will contact you when Act 2 begins. Now you may say, well, when does Act 2 begin? Well, if we go to the season pass, we can actually see, because Act 1, 2, and 3 are already here. So we can actually see that right here it says Act 2 releases in 20 days. So about 3 weeks. So we end Act 1, and then 3 weeks later we're going to be getting Act 2, and assumingly 3 weeks after Act 2 finishes is going to be Act 3. So a total of 9 missions. And actually, if we go to our seasonal quests down here, so basically it's based on the seasonal stuff, right? Based on the seasonal challenges. We could see, like, obviously week 1, it was basically pre-episode, and then week 2, 3, and 4, so 3 weeks were the episodic thing, right? The Act 1 of episode Echoes, right? And so anyways, based on all that kind of stuff, other people are also mentioning this. It seems as though the timeline would be basically this. Act 2 would be starting Act 1, or Act 2 Part 1, excuse me, it would be July 16th. Act 2 Part 2 would be July 23rd, and Act 2 Part 3 would be July 30th. And then Act 3, we already know it says that it releases in 62 days. So we got 20 days until Act 2, and then we have Act 3, which is in 62 days. So if you do the math in between all that, then it would be basically that we have 3 missions for each act, right? And so assumingly then Act 3 is going to be starting, well, actually we know this because it says 62 days, you can calculate it. Act 3 we know is going to be starting August 27th. So again, that means 3 weeks for Act 2. And assumingly there's going to be Part 1, 2, and 3 for Act 3 as well, before the next episode comes out. So, and again, actually we know this because it says the season ends in 104 days. So you can kind of do the math there as well. If you kind of put all the spacing between, again, it's basically, that's how we know. Okay, I'm not going to break it down completely, but I'll let you guys break it down if you guys want to. That said, how do we feel about this episodic thing? Well, it seemed as though Bungie was coming out and they're going to be, they're saying like, oh, we're going to do episodes instead of the seasonal content, because, we see that, players maybe are not really crazy about the seasonal content the way we're doing it as of right now. And the episodes will be a better method or whatever, something along those lines. I'm vaguely paraphrasing. Maybe I'm not even paraphrasing at all. I can't remember exactly what they said, but you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but somewhere in that ballpark, they basically said, that they're going to try this whole new episodic thing. And then story-wise, I think the episodes maybe are a little deeper from what it seems to be. I mean, again, we haven't really experienced that with Act 1, but I think by the time we get to Act 3, we'll see that the story element of episodes is better than the seasonal stuff. But what is really, really, really annoying is the fact that it's basically the same amount of weeks as seasonal content. Seasonal content was about, what, 8 or 9 weeks, give or take, if I remember correctly. It's roughly in the same ballpark of how many weeks of content, but they're drip feeding it even more. People already felt, their biggest complaint was like, oh, Bungie is just drip feeding content, right? And they're time gating content and this and that. This is basically seasonal content in terms of that context, right? In terms of drip feeding and time gating. This is the seasonal content on steroids. Because now they're like really time gating things, because they're like, oh, here's Act 1. We'll give you 3 weeks of kind of story stuff. And now we're going to put a pause on the story, come back in like 3 weeks, and we'll begin Act 2 to continue the story. And then after 3 more weeks of story, we're going to put another pause, and then we're going to come back in Act 3 and give you the rest of the story. And this is like extreme time gating and extreme drip feeding to the maximum, it feels like, right? And I'm not personally for that. I think it's just really annoying. Like, just better to just play week by week than have to be like, okay, well, here's 3 weeks, let's wait another 3 weeks. Like, it's like 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, and 3 weeks on, and then it's just back and forth, and it just feels like not good the way it's formatted like that, for lack of, you know, better kind of phrasing. Like I said, in terms of the story, we don't know enough yet. I don't want to make a judgment on the story. It seems like the story is more interesting from base what we've seen in the, you know, in the whole kind of, what was like a 5.5 minute video where it was like the road ahead or whatever it was called. In that, they were describing a little bit what to expect in all 3 episodes. And in that, it seems like, you know, they're kind of hinting that, you know, the episodes are going to be a lot more rich in story, which is good. That is an improvement over the seasonal stuff, 100%. Seasonal stuff was a little bit more shallow in terms of lore and story and that kind of content. And of course, you know, we also have the fact that, you know, we have more of the seasonal pass, right? Like, it goes up to you know, what is it, tier 100 or whatever in the first act 1, and then act 2 adds some more kind of content, some more unlocks with another 50 levels, and then we get into act 3, which adds another 50 levels for a grand total of 200 levels. So in that sense, it's cool because there's extra content in the episodes, but at the same time, you know, it's like I said, the whole time gated thing is a little bit annoying and underwhelming, and just you know, the drip feed is just a little bit weird. And again, I'll be curious also to see in act 2 and 3, you know, we're going to be getting new activities as well, so that is something that I guess is also another plus, another positive, where it's a little bit different than you know, seasonal content. It was like, okay, well, here's a season, here's seasonal activities, and that's that. Whereas this feels like more like, okay, well, we're going to give you new activities each act, at least as far as I'm aware. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can recall, that's how it's going to go. And so, you know, in that sense, you know, there is more content. Like I said, there's more story content. There is more content within the seasonal pass itself because we have that extra 100 tiers. And then, of course, there's also the fact that we do have, you know, the extra activities we should be getting as well. So when you couple all that together, that is good. But again, this kind of method of like 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, time gating, I get it, but maybe like having it that much of a gap in between is a little bit, you know, not good. That's not good grammar, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not a good approach, right? Like 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. If it was like we get 3 episodes, 3 weeks, right? Part 1, part 2, part 3 of act 1, and then maybe it's like 1 week off or something, right? Maybe it'd make more sense, but I get they're trying to like stretch it out so they have, you know, 3 episodes throughout the whole year, and they're trying to fill out that year. I get that side of it, but still, 3 weeks off in between each act is just like, it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel, you know, I rather have more time between episodes, more dead time between episodes than this. But again, I guess, you know, from their side of things, if you have more time at the end between episodes, then that kind of, you know, creates less of an incentive for players to come back, and you got more of a downtime where you're going to see a dip in player retention. So I get that side of it as well. So they're not going to do that. But all that to say, I don't know, man. I'm not crazy about the way this is being drip fed, but at the same time, you know, there's still a lot more to see. Act 2 and Act 3, we don't know how it's going to play out story-wise, content-wise. We don't know what the activities are going to entail. You know, I think by the time we get through the entire first episode, Echoes, we can do another video and kind of, you know, more thorough, you know, impressions and thoughts and kind of review, if you will. But for now, I want to give some quick kind of first impressions, because I did not expect Act 1 to finish already in 3 weeks. I was very surprised. I was like, whoa, that's it? Come back and, you know, for Act 2, and then when I look at Act 2, it's like, well, that's in 20 days, which is about 3 weeks, and then Act 2 is 62 days, and again, when you do the math, it's just like, I don't know, kind of feels like, wow, that's a big gap in between acts. So I don't know. Like I said, I feel like it's too big of a gap in between acts, but you guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. I wanted to talk about this really quick. Like I said, there's some good and there's some bad, I think, within the episodic thing. And again, like I said, there's a lot we just don't know yet because we've only just gotten through Act 1. So I am, you know, acknowledging that, and I'm holding, you know, a full kind of review and a full kind of impressions and thoughts for, you know, when we actually finish the entire episode. But for now, I want to give my first impressions as of right now and just kind of talk about that and let, you know, kind of see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Again, if you enjoyed this one, consider leaving a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in 3 weeks for Act 2. No, we'll see you before that, Lord willing, you know, with other kind of content. But, you know, for the continue the episode, I'll see you in 3 weeks for that. So, anyways, till the next one, friends. Game on. Thanks for watching.
Hey you! What are you doing? Join the Skeleton Army! Do it today! Don't wait till tomorrow because tomorrow might never come. The Earth is gonna fade, that's inevitable. The next second of your life's not even promised, so you better think about where you're going, and you might as well just join the Skeleton Army. Plus, we do kinda like you a little bit, so it'd be nice to see you around here. But if you don't want to, hey, you're lost. See you later!